Hardy friends. I'm just starting a few minutes early because I can tell Lucy's not going to put up with me for very long. So I know you guys like seeing her on camera. So here she is. If you're watching the replays, you can. I'm going to do some show and share and discuss like some what I've done this last week and some organization ideas, and then we're going to go to the desk, do some jelly printing based on like sort of Art Whisper 88 style. And we're also going to work on some projects that I've been wanting to complete, at least one. So a whip, work in progress. And yeah, so you can zoom ahead to that. If you happen to be getting, if you're watching this like within like 8 to 10 hours of when it goes live, in the middle of the night, YouTube decides to have it rendered, put the chat in, and add a bunch of ads. And I don't see them. I can't really adjust them until the morning. So if you find there's lots of ads, just put it in your watch later list and then, watch it later the next day and there won't be as many ads. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. We don't have clear skies today. It's a bit cloudy, but it's not raining today so far, so that's good. And Jane, did you finish your experiments with the Goo Gone spray? And you were adding something to that. I can't remember what it was. So did you do I haven't seen the video yet. You said you were going to post a video, so I'd love to see that. So I'm waiting for chat to catch up, see if Jane answers my question. Hi, Ann Lar, and I'm going to show Tea Cozy that I got from Ann Lar from a giveaway, and she was working on one today, so I guess I could show it now. So this is the Tea Cozy that I won from Ann, and it's super cute. She uses lots of different scraps on it, and she puts like buttons, and is it all hand stitched, Ann? I can't remember. And she put beads and little additions, and look at this cute that little picture there. It's fabric, so it's all fabric, and it says made by ACL, Ann Lar. And I don't know what your middle initial is, but Jane also dyed some papers with avocado homemade dye. Okay, hi Apple. And then the inside is nice and cozy there. It's a tea cozy, but I'm not a huge tea drinker, so I want to use it as a journal pocket, like a place to put a journal in, a journal home. See, so there's like a button there. There's like this house button here. Oh, Lucy's gonna go. Anne says, you're not giving me any stage time. I'm gonna leave. Oh, Anne says it's all hand stitched. So she's making a new one. If you want to check out her channel, she's worked on it today. A nice relaxing time. And I think I forgot to open the door for my Lucy. Lucy, hello, hi. Jane says she's been sorting through a pile of pages. A tea journal and a tea cozy, that would be good. I don't have a lot of tea stuff though. Maybe like a coffee dyed or a tea dyed journal or a nature journal or something like that, or a vintage collage. Not sure, but I have it. It's on my bookshelf. I was sort of storing my Tim Holtz people that's in a box. I was sort of storing that box in here, but I don't feel like that's a good effective use of this cute cozy. Okay, so I think Lucy's probably not going to stay on my lap. So I was going to show what I finished up from last week. So I'm going to put her beside me. We'll see if she stays here. Why don't you sit beside me, girl? Can you sit beside me? I put this down. You can be on camera. There we go. So this is the abstract landscape we did last week. Oh, she's leaving. She's out of here. Hi, Ann Makes. Oh, she's going under she's not leaving the room. She went under my desk. Yay. So that's the landscape that we did last week. I didn't add anything to that. I just trimmed it down so it fit in this portfolio. Oh, Uh-oh, I lost a bunch of pages. But that's okay, because they're the pages I'm going to show. And then this I posted on Instagram. So this was the one pull that we had done that had, this paper collaged on the gel plate, this paper, I think, no, did it have that paper? It had, yeah, this paper, and this paper. And then this was just yellow paint, and then blue paint, and then this green paint was kind of a yucky color. So I added a bunch of marks to that one. I added an extra gel print down below. And then I added some marks to this, the hill that was yellow. Hi, Janet. Hi, Zen-Jen. Hi, Lizanne. Hi, painting again. And then on this top here, I added some matte medium when I was collaging on these other pieces. And I put the matte medium really thick so it would have lines. And then I colored the lines with a white crayon, just in parts of it. And then I added Inktense to make it kind of look like a sky. Oh, now she wants, no, she's going over there. Okay, we'll see. And then I also finished this one. I wasn't happy with how this one ended. So I added more detail to this trough here. And then I added a bit of definition. It's hard to point backwards on these hills here and here. And then the background, I really added a lot to that. I added lots of paints and layers. You could kind of see a little bit of the image transfer behind here, but I added a lot more detail there. And then I added a bit of white to the horizon to make more like clouds in the distance. Hi, Joyce. Oh, okay, I'm gonna open the door. And I enhanced these fence posts. I enhanced those, but I left this part of the green, I liked it as is. And this hill, I left those brush strokes. I like those brush strokes. Okay, I'm just gonna let Lucy out because she's gonna start barking. And then I'm gonna show you what else I've been up to this week. So this week was a little stressful with my mom moving to a new facility. She's still adjusting, and I managed to get a lot of art therapy in. Hi, Renee. Watching for more, thank you. Okay, and I did this, I posted this on Instagram and Facebook. So this was one of my collages inspired by Dee Dee Willingham. So she had sent me these two backgrounds. I had done this collage a while ago. Sorry, it's kind of crooked. I had done this one a while ago, and then I just did this red one recently. So I added the lady with the crown and the lobster from a collage soup books, a couple different ones. And then that paper is books that was from a scrapbooking paper that I actually bought at my friend Create and Play with Renee at her one of her yard sales. So that's from her. And then this wreath is from Stamping Up. And then these circles are from a stream we did a while ago, making marks on the gel plate. Yeah, the gold, that's inspired by Dee Dee because her gel print is on the black deli paper. And this one, I fell in love with these blue colors and the gold. And then I wanted to do something with the red one. So I put this in my book that I tore pages out, and it's just like a Frank Lloyd Wright, can't remember. Maybe think of Andrew Lloyd Webber. So I've just been putting in things there. And then also, like, I put prints that I think are keepers that I'm pretty much done with. I put in this portfolio book. So I have this one labeled Gelprint Keepers 2025. And then so I have, prints in there that I've taken pictures of and I've saved on my computer, but because they're not necessarily light fast, I just want to keep them, oh, you can't see that. Anyways, you guys have seen those before. Hi, Star Traveler. Okay, so that showed that. And then I missed doing my grid collage journals, so I did a really easy one yesterday. There's not a lot of layers to this. Hi, Joanne. So this one is just, I had some little swatches left over from when I made my sister-in-law a palette, because I was trying to figure out what to do, like how to organize it. So I had these little swatch things that I cut up. They're watercolor swatches. So I just used the charcoal. So I'm trying to see where I'm putting that. I used the charcoal with matte medium in the background, taped it off, and then I just glued down each swatch, and then I used a Neocolor 2s or watercolor to add a bit of color that kind of went with the swatch. And then if there was somewhere where there wasn't any paint, like up here, I just added a very light blue, like a periwinkle blue Neocolor, just to make it separate so you could see where the square was. So I was pretty happy with that. Very simple, not a lot of layers, just a fun way to play with some color. Okay. Hi, Keeks. Let's see, did I miss anybody else? It's Royal, yes. Thank you, Lizanne. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Apple, I enjoyed the landscape session next week. I'm definitely going to do more of those. Not today, but I posted this on Instagram. It's just a simple coloring page that I didn't like the color of the sky. It was alcohol markers. I didn't like the color of the sky, so I started using the gel pens to add some scribble scrabble to make some lightness. And then I used my Languo gel pens to get rid of the line work and to finish the scribble scrabble, and then some stickles for the rainbow, because it just didn't feel finished. Now, if you don't put your sheet, your protective sheet, in the right spot, I'll show you what happens. This is what happens. You get color on the next page. So see all those green splotches? And I was really looking forward to coloring this page. So there's all these green splotches because I didn't put my sheet, this protective cardstock, I didn't put it in the right spot. So when I saw Cat and Paste do her embroidery sticker page, I thought, oh, maybe I can do that to save this page. So I've already drawn around the areas that I'm going to make into stickers. Like the see here, these donuts, and then the two characters, this donut and the bakery. And then I'm going to make almost the rest look like stitching, like Christine did. So that's my next page. So this book here, it's quite thick, and I'm trying to just go in order. So it's just that simple style of coloring. Dee Dee was showing her book today. I think hers is the same company. So that was the first one I did. So I'm trying to do at least one a month. When I first got it, I did quite a few. So you add all the textures. So the wood graining I added, and the poofs I added, the shag carpet. You just you have a bit of space for creativity, even though it's a very simple page. I've shown some of these before. So the blanket, I added the whole texture on the blanket. And I'm going in order, and I'm getting inspired by, lots of videos on Instagram. Hi, Babs. And then this one I did, this was in June, that one. And then this one I started in July, but I didn't finish it till August. So I'm kind of going in order. So it doesn't matter that I have the stickles here, because all the pages in front of it are colored. So I'm just going in order because they're all like equally cute, except during October, I might go to the back and do like one of the Halloween pages or something. So that's what else I did this week. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. It is hard to go in order. I've never gone in order before in a coloring book page, but I figure like they're all kind of the same. I don't know. So I wanted to show, my goal is, with the face-to-face, is to show what I've been doing the last week, and also to maybe give an organizational tip. So today, the tip is, the other week, couple weeks ago, Dee Dee was showing her colored pencil binders and cases. So this is my Prisma case. So I've got swatches here that I have on a ring. Sorry, it's kind of flashing out there. So I don't use those that much, but I can use them. I did them on the edge so I could color match if I want. And then I've organized these in a style that is inspired by Coloring Bliss. Hi, Missy. So she organizes her pencils in groups of 3, a mid-tone, a dark, and a light. So I kind of took the pencils I had and I made this little color wheel, and then I had extra ones that I figured out color combinations, and then my neutrals. So that's how I organized my colored pencils. So I actually prefer the cases that have the elastics that hold 3 at a time. So with the neutrals, I just kept them, I didn't put any signage on them, but the color ones that I organized by color family, I've got a paper clip, and then I've got their color number, like the number of it. So this one says red orange. So on the color wheel, the red orange is here. Or when was that? Red orange. Oh, I've only got 2 there. I'm missing a pencil, but you get the idea. So let's see, red, there's these 3 colored pencils, and I've got them there. This is taped on here, but it wasn't staying, so I just added a paper clip. So then I have them all organized that way. So when I want to do a color, I can do that. So that's all my Prisma pencils. And then I have my Crayola Color of the World pencils there. So they're not really organized the same. So that's how I organize my Prisma colors. What did Lizanne says? You already have the Halloween vibes. You've been coloring in one of your Halloween coloring books. Cool. So I've decided I'm going to start Halloween coloring next in September because I'm actually going away for part of October, so I won't have as much time. I like to color in Cute and Creepy every October because Dee Dee does. And I want to do at least 1 page in this cozy book. Now it looks like, you know, these should be quick. They're not as quick as you would think. So yeah, so that's my plan. And then if you came in late, I showed Lucy already, and I showed the tea cozy that Anne-Laure made that I won in a giveaway. And hi Jackie, I think I said hi to you. Hi Diane. So I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to go to the desk, and I do have some happy mail that was sent to me by my sister-in-law that I want to show you. She's just getting into mixed media and crafting and stuff. Well, not crafting, she's been crafting for a while, but she just got into mixed media recently, and she sent me this fun little book that we actually, some of the papers were from that Flow magazine that I showed last week. I hope my sound's okay. All right, now I can see my my chat a little bit better. So she sent me this cool little book. This sticker was actually on the envelope, but I thought it was cute, so I stick it on the front. And then this was paper from that Flow magazine, and then a little thank you wine for the art supplies. She did a really good job with this. And then that kind of looks like my husband, and it says husbands are often kept not for their usefulness. He thought that was pretty funny. And then some doodles she had done. I think that's when I was showing her the watercolors that I got her, and we were playing together. So that's actually what she did. The things I had done, I gave to her. So just like a cute little junk journal. And then these are some of the tags that I gave to her from that Flow magazine. Some extra things in here. Junk and disorganized. Isn't that cute? Thanks, Barbara. That's one of the papers from the Flow magazine, and then she put her own washi in here. I feel like, oh, I love Radlers. That's awesome that she put that there. I feel like I should be able to get into this. Like there's writing in there. I'm gonna have to ask her. And then this is cute. I don't know where she got this, but look at that. Art on the dock. Well, we were only together for a week when I was on vacation in Prince Edward Island. So I think that was from the Flow magazine. But they're coming in December, so we're going to art together in December. And it says, you know when you tap a video to see how long it's got left? I wish you could do that with people while they're talking. She's so funny. And then some little cute stickers, like those, not stickers, but those vellum ephemera. And then this is from that paper. And then she said, looking forward to art in December. So maybe we'll stream together. I don't know. We'll see in December. Now, my stream on the iPad is going weird. Can you guys still hear and see me okay? Because mine's kind of like going fast and then slow. Am I glitching? Am I glitching? Question mark. Okay, now the other thing, this is a work in progress. You know, you guys were with me when I worked on this, and I want to finish up the edges. So we'll do that while my piece is drying today. We'll start finishing some of these edges. And I felt like it just kind of looked kind of milky. Now, I believe when we attach these, I use this North Shore. Oh, okay. I gotta change something here. I use this North Shore matte medium. So I thought I'm gonna do a test to see, this is that black steak paper. So this is no matte medium. This is the, I said Mart, that's not right. It's the North Shore, it's from the Walmarts. Okay, now my pen's not working. Okay, well, this is this one. And when it dried milky. And I thought, well, golden, I use golden on other things. And look at the golden matte medium. And it's the same amount. I tried to put the same thickness. So that's the golden matte medium. So that's the difference when you're working with dark papers. And I thought, well, I'm going to go and get some of this Liquitex matte medium and see what it does. And that's the golden, so that's the Liquitex Professional Matte Medium. So it's pretty similar to the golden. So I think I'm just going to reserve this for gluing underneath things, not necessarily on top. I know I told people, this is great, you can use it, but I guess it's cheap for a reason. Hi, Kristen. So I thought we could do is do this same test on something with color. And I found this page that I got from Dee Dee that I've been meaning to use in a collage, but I actually want to use this side. I think it's from a Poor Toast book. I want to use this side. So I'm going to add some of this matte medium to this edge, to this surface, to see which one, if it just affects the blacks or if it makes the other ones look kind of milky. I think I'll just do the North Shore and the Liquitex, because I think the Liquitex and the golden will be similar. If not, the golden might be better. So I'm just going to put that on there before we gel plate, and then it can, it'll have a chance to dry while we're jelly printing. No glitching, good. So today the theme for the jelly printing is going to be Art Whisperer 88. And one of the styles he does a lot, I think he calls it neo-modern. So I'm going to try to put the same amount on each one. So this is I'll put a thin coating. This is the Mart, and maybe we'll even use a credit card to scrape it, because often we just have it very thin. And then this is the Liquitex. And I'm going to use a different brush because I don't want to contaminate it. So this is the Liquitex, which will be similar or not quite as good as the golden. So that's that. So we're going to do a real live test in real time. Okay. So this is the, Oh, I don't. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna get a. Yeah, the auto. I don't know. I can't really turn it off because this is my phone. This is North Shore, and this is Liquitex. So as long as I don't put my hand too close, it should be fine. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit. So I'm going to put that aside, and we'll pull that out later to see if it's just the black that gets hazy or if it's all the colors too. Hi, Kathy Berg. All right, so we're going to get Big Peggy out. And always wipe your brushes. Hi, Lizzie Jean. Just gonna dunk that in some water. So instead of trying to do like 3 different gel prints, I'm just gonna work on one gel print, but it's gonna be a few layers, at least 3 layers, maybe 4. And then in between, while things are drying, we'll work on the edges of that little mixed media canvas that we were doing. So I'm just gonna put that there. That's the papers that went with it. So I hope you guys are all doing great. Hope you're having good weather. And I've got washi tape stuck on my toe from my, now my other toe from my grid journaling. Okay. Just wiping my hands. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed you, please say hi in uppercase and I'll try to catch you. And if you have any questions or want to make a comment to me specifically, feel free to put it in caps or uppercase. Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with Art Whisperer 88, he uses a huge gel plate usually, and he's very precise with his placements and his brayering. I'm not going to be as precise. I'm just going to try to straighten that out a little bit. So he uses a lot of shapes that he cuts himself. So what I'm going to do is when we did that gel plate print with the plant that I had the mask, I had the rest of the file folder left over. So I just kind of arbitrarily cut it out into some shapes. So we're going to use that on the gel plate. And this is the paper I'm going to put it on. So we're going to kind of do it this way. So I want to remember the order that I want them. So this is a 9.5 by 12.5 piece of paper. It's just that inexpensive acrylic paper from the dollar store, Dollarama. Let me put this down here. So it's just this paper here. The acrylic block, I don't know why they call it a block. It's not like a watercolor block. It's heavyweight, fine finish. You know, it's just from the Dollarama. All right, I'm just gonna have a little sip. Yes, I'm painting my toenails with washi. That's an interesting idea. I wonder if you could put polish and then stick the washi on and then put polish. There's an idea for you. All right, so now the Art Whisperer, he doesn't do this, but I thought it would be fun because we're gonna have a background layer and then we're gonna do a layer of black and then a layer of color. So on the background layer, I thought it'd be fun to have some stamping because a lot of it's gonna get covered up. So I've got my Sketchy Math, one of my Sketchy Math stamps from PM Artist Studio. And then this is another PM Artist Studio stamp. I don't remember the name of it. What I should do is I should actually write the names on the back, but maybe someday I'll do that. And hi, Tina, too. Now, Dar's not here today. She's got some stuff at home she has to take care of, so I know she often puts in links, so they're not hard to find. Lizzie Jean says that you can use washi. She's done it on her nails. That's cool. Hi, Julie Parker. This is the just black acrylic Amsterdam paint on the little 5x7 plate here that we're going to use to ink, not ink, but to get some stuff on our stamps. So rather than trying to do like 10 different prints, I'm going to just kind of focus on doing one big print today, and we can work on that on those little canvases. So I don't necessarily care if these aren't perfect, because they're hopefully just going to be a little bit in the background. I'm going to do these this way. Maybe I'll rotate it. It's kind of fading out a little bit. Let's add a little bit more paint. Okay. And I do have, actually, let's just do these two stamps. I do have other stamps too. And then what if we kind of overlap them a little bit, just for something different, so it's not too uniform? I don't know. So we're doing Art Whisperer with a Devon Rex for Art Twist. That's okay, Kathy. They're not hard to find. People can check out PM Artist Studio under foam stamps. Now, I didn't really need to do the whole plate because that paper is not going to cover the whole plate, but I thought it was just easier. Okay, I'm going to just wipe this. Make sure you wash your foam stamps. And so just giving them a little bit of a rub. So I want that to dry. If I don't let it dry, then when I put the next layer of paint on, it's just going to all smudge. So we're going to do a background onto the paper. After this dries, we're going to put some paint, and then we're going to pull it, and then we're going to do another layer that we're going to pull, and then another layer that we're going to pull, all on the same paper. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for a moment. Just going to use this to transport it over here. And let's bring this back. Okay, so we're getting, just looking at that print that was drying. So this we can pull with a paint color after. I don't think we'll be using that again. Okay, so when I had done those little canvases, I had kept all my bits of paper so that I could decorate the edges. So I've got all the paint I used and all the leftover bits. So I'm going to just kind of, see, this edge is kind of done. I'm going to do these edges here. And then what I'm going to do is when I'm adding the paper, I'm going to go ahead with the matte medium that we think is clearer. So I'm going to use this matte medium, the Liquitex one. It's just a little less expensive than the golden. Oh, sorry, that was loud, right by my microphone. And I'm going to put it in a container, so matte medium. We'll need quite a bit. So work on this while that's drying, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth. So I'm going to need a paintbrush. Okay, so let's start with this bird one. So we got to do these two sides, and we can use paint as well, but a lot of the papers we have kind of match, right? So let's just, this is rice paper. Now the rice paper, we had wet it. So I'm going to wrap that around the corner. I think I'm going to cut it. I've been finding that I've been trying to do too much in the streams, and then I get off and I'm just exhausted. I can't do anything for the rest of the day. So I'm going to try to just kind of chill, hang out with you all. So I'm going to get rid of this. So this is the configuration I want. So we got paper, paper, and then this circle. So I'm just going to put those aside. We'll work at one at a time. The trick when you're adding a bunch of little pieces is not to let your fingers get too full of the matte medium, because then it starts pulling the paper off. Relax, girl. Okay, so I'm going to take, I'm just going to see where this orange is. I'm just going to add the matte medium here and here. And then we're going to, actually we're going to spray that with water to make it a bit more transparent. Okay, so I just sprayed it in my hand. So this is kind of what we did when we had worked on this. I don't know when it was, but you can check my playlist. It's a live stream, and there's a picture of these 4 canvases on there. And then I'm just going to do that. And again, this is the matte medium that I think is a bit clearer. So I'm hoping that if I put it on the surface, it will punch up that black a little bit. Here, let's do half. And then we'll see while we're working on that thing there. Okay, so we're gonna, now that rice paper, it should dry clear, but we can always add a bit of paint to blend it in a bit more if it's too squiggly. But I'm not going to cut this end here because it'll just rip. Making sense? Okay, now we do have a bit more orange there, so let's grab another orange piece. And let's just spray here. Spray it on here. So this is how I finish the edges of these mini canvases. I just kind of, and then I can add paint as needed. So this one, I think I'm going to just rip it. So what is everybody else working on? And do you guys have plans for the month of September? Like, what are you guys planning art-wise for September? Bring that up a little higher. Anybody have any specific arting plans or journaling ideas? And then we can add paint to that edge too. Okay, here's some black. Now that paint on the Big Peggy is going to be dry soon. So we're going to do this edge and then we'll move back to Big Peggy. All right, so I need something black and clear. That's kind of, I don't have any of that specific pattern, but I think something like this would work. So my mom has been having trouble getting used to the new place. She doesn't understand why it's better than the old place. So we're hopeful that once she gets used to it, she'll be a little bit happier and do more things, like get out of the bed onto a wheelchair and go be with people, because where she was just spending all her time in her bed. Okay, so we're going to spray that. Add a bit more of this. Joanne says she's working on ATCs for a Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland swap with Keeks. Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of swaps together. I should rip this edge here just so it's not so straight. That's awesome, Joanne. And then this edge already has one, so I'm just going to cut it. I probably should have measured that. Yes, change is difficult for the elderly, especially in those, like the twilight hours, like between when the sun goes down in the evening. It's very disorienting. This was already there. I'm just going to squish it down a bit more. So this is where you have to be careful not to touch where you've just put stuff down. So, and then, so this side is actually done already. We can add a bit of paint, and that side's done. So we just have to add a bit there. Let's just, I'm going to wait on that because I want to see when this dries if we notice a difference between the blacks. Okay, so I'm going to put that down here. Yes, Keeks is an ATC beast. That's right. And Zen Jen says it's really difficult. Yeah, her mother-in-law struggled. Sundowning is a very real thing. Yeah, and hard to watch. Your dog has started doing it. Wow. Okay, let's put this aside. Let's get Big Peggy back out. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth today between these two projects. So put that there. And let's get out Big Peggy. Okay, so I think I actually like, when we did it, I kind of like this side better, so I'm actually going to put that at the top. So I'm going to go like that. So even though we're working on it horizontally, the final piece is, I'm thinking it's going to be more of like a vertical piece. So we're going to put that there. And I'm just going to put this on the floor beside me. So this isn't, I'm not recreating a specific piece that Whisper 88 did. It's more like a vibe. I might be combining a few techniques that he's done or some that he hasn't. I don't know. Like I watch his videos. I didn't like take notes on a specific video. Okay. But this I remembered I did see from a specific video. Is he used white, black, and like not iron oxide, but like an orangey color to make sort of like a grungy background. So we're going to do that on top of this. And you know, I'm going to get another piece of paper because this isn't the one that we're putting the shapes on yet. So I need another one. Where did I put that pad of paper? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so my mom hadn't been doing, because you know she broke her hip, and after she moved to the home, she broke her hip a few weeks that when she was there, and then they're supposed to do physio, and she never really did much physio, and so hopefully they'll start to do physio for her more. Yeah. Yeah, Diane, it's hard. Like they feel like they're not living, but then they're not willing to live. Hi, Jolu. Good to see you. So we're going to just kind of keep this way and make it a bit muddy on purpose. Hopefully not too dark. I might have too much black. I might take a bit of that black away. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in my desk journal. So when I have extra paper, extra paint, like Dee Dee says, you just kind of put it in your desk journal. That's really thick, but I should have some I'll show you that in a second here. So this is one of those magazines. So I just added the black paint to that so I don't waste it. This is one of those little magazines that you cut and you can just add stuff to. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe my hands. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, I hope so, Julie. They're kind of less, they seem like they listen to her, but they're more willing to push her to get up. Because right now she needs a lift to get into her wheelchair. So, okay, so we're gonna use a brayer. And if you've seen Art Whisper 88, he brayers slowly. I can't, it's dry where I live, so I can't brayer that slowly. I want to get kind of grungy, but I want it I don't want it too dark. Okay, and then he uses a lot of like mark making to kind of add interest. So this is just a chopstick. And this is a layer that's not going to show through the whole piece. It's just going to be peeking through. So I'm going to put this, there's a smooth side and a side that's not quite as smooth. Now which side? I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that there. Oh, Jane, that's so hard. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not bringing up bad memories for people. We all go through, you know, loved ones struggling, and my dad passed away from cancer in 2012. And he was only 77, and he'd been healthy, you know, his whole life, and you can't really predict. Anyhow, let's move on to some brighter topics. Sorry, I don't mean to be a downer. Okay, so I'm hoping that's not going to be too dark. So we'll let that dry and then we'll pull it. So let's go back to our little canvas. So we do want, so this is dry, that's not dry. We want to add something here. It's kind of that creamy color, like so. So I'm just going to rip, I'll have to rip a piece that way. Okay, and I'm going to rip this edge here. I'm going to actually pre-measure this one this time. So that corner's done. I just need this side here. So to about there-ish. Because I was finding I wasn't getting, I'd get projects started and then I'd get on to the next thing the next week and I'm not getting things finished. So I thought, well, you guys can, you know, help me finish things and see how the finishing happens. And this is on tracing paper, so we're going to wet it. See, my finger stuck to it. So now I got to hold it where it's dry, and then we'll just do this. Wrap it around the back, wrap it up. Okay, so let's see. So I think where we put that matte medium on, it did help the black get less cloudy, murky. So I'm going to go ahead and try not to touch the edges. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the whole surface. I don't want it glossy, but I don't want it dull. I don't want it to look too dull. Okay, we'll do the edges that weren't done because this one's pretty much finished. Jen says that's her fall plan, finish up some unfinished projects discovered in the studio. Awesome. Okay, I should probably have a bigger brush, but so we'll let that dry and then we can paint some of the edges. So we got, this one had 2 edges finished, so we finished, it already had 2 edges finished, so we finished the other 2 edges. So I'm gonna put that over here to dry. And here's our experiment. See, this is the North Shore. You can't tell as much on the light colors, but on the dark, you can see that milkiness. And this is the Liquitex here. It's more vibrant. Not too bad on the lighter colors, but definitely on the black, it makes a difference. Can you guys see that difference? Jane says she's managed to print some of her crazy pages onto some very thin, almost translucent paper, and she hopes it will collage well. So I think my new go-to, I think I'm gonna just keep the North Shore for things that aren't very vibrant, and I will use the Liquitex and the golden matte medium for things that I want to really be vibrant. However, I remember I was using golden matte medium on the gel plate and it wasn't pulling very well. So we'll have to test that as well. So this is test 1. So if we have time, we'll test if it sticks to the plate. I remember the golden was sticking to the plate. It wasn't coming up. So all right. So I appreciate you guys coming to my live stream. I hope you enjoy what we do here, enjoy the people. So this is layer 1. So that's going to be the background. And I think this is going to be, I want this as the top. Maybe it wasn't quite as light as I wanted, but I think we're just going to run with it. So the next layer, we're going to use the shapes. I'm going to use these shapes on here with black. So I want to put them kind of within this zone. So we're just going to go ahead, and these were cut out of file folder. So they have a little bit of, what's the word? Not shininess, what's that called? Help me, people. Coating, a little bit of a coating, is that the word? So I've got this grid that I can use as my template to know where my lines are. So these shapes, they're very, to me, they're very mid-century modern. I don't know where Art Whisperer got his inspiration from. I just cut these with scissors. This also reminds me of Sophia Button. She does a lot of this kind of shapeage. And it also reminds me of Quirky Queen's journals. And a lot of people, I mean, I've seen a lot of people use these kinds of shapes. So I don't think it's like an Art Whisperer patent. I don't know what the word is. So I'm going to put the black. So we're going to do a layer of black next. So it's going to block out the negative space. Oh, I cleaned my brayer over the weekend. Look at that. Look at how clean that is. That was, I just put it in, I soaked it in the Murphy's oil and, well, water, Murphy's oil, and the Dawn dish soap. Oh, I have to sneeze. Now this one I'm not going to use the skewer or the chopstick on. I want a little bit more paint. I want it very thick. I want it, I don't want it see-through. I want you to have total, I want it to be totally black. It's going to be a little tricky to line up my paper. He has a cool paper placement tool. Trying to hurry so my paint doesn't dry. Okay, I'm going to stand up to put my paper on. I think I can see the corners there. I can see this corner. Sorry guys, that was the phone ringing. Hopefully I'm back. I had it on Do Not Disturb, so I don't know how that phone call came through. So Jane Literick has a YouTube channel, and she's been playing with Goo Gone spray instead of Citrusol on what do you call that? National Geographic pages. So check that out. In Canada, it's pretty hard for us to get the Citrusol, and I don't know that I want to be dealing with Citrusol because I think it's pretty smelly. Okay, so we'll let that dry. We're going to let these dry as well. I'm just going to put them on top. And then we're going to start working on our edges again. Just putting these on top to let them dry. And then we're going to place them in a different orientation. Okay. Yes, Goo Gone is available at Canadian Tire. All right, let's get our next little canvas that needs the edges done. So this one here, we're gonna add the matte medium on top to make it less cloudy looking. So this edge is done. We just have to kind of turn this over. And then this edge we have to do, and this edge. Okay, so we need some of this black, some of this orange, and then some of this tan colored. I'll bring my wax paper back. Hope you guys are enjoying this chill format. Jane says it is a little smelly, but she was working outside, so no problem. I wonder if it's less smelly than the Citrusol. Okay, we need orange. I think we'll use this part here. Hi, Casey. Good to see you. And black. So I kept all my little extra sheets. So some are on rice paper. This is rice paper, and this is medical exam paper, I think. So that kind of matches there. Let's see. I just rip that. So Casey, we're working on a gel print on the left here, and then we're working on finishing up something I had started a couple weeks ago. Okay, let's use a ruler. Look, Janet, I'm using a ruler. So that's gonna go there. Should go this way. Okay, that's gonna go there to about here. And then we need our orange piece, which I thought I ripped it. Did I not rip it? Just gonna use this section here. Yes, medical taper, medical exam table paper. METP. Okay, so we'll bring that around the corner. So that's going to be next. And then we're going to do a piece of this to do there. So let me get this ruler. And we're working on, this is a work in progress, a whip. Anybody else have some whips that they're hoping to get done this fall? Hi, Carol. You came in earlier though, right? Hi, Belinda. Ooh, brunch at a restaurant. Awesome. Are you having pancakes? Maybe you can't hear us. Okay, so let's start here. We'll go, actually I think I like this side first. This one has a bit of that champagne gold color. Okay, so we're gonna start this one, then that one. Did I go far enough? I don't think I did. I need a little bit more. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. See if this is dry. Okay, that's dry. I'm going to just move this. Let me get something to put this on so it's easier to bring it back and forth. So we're going to move this out of the way again. Okay, and let's pull this. You just got here. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of seeing you at Ann Lars. That's probably it. Okay, so there's number 2. So you can see what I mean about the stamping not being too overwhelming, even though we put it everywhere so that we would have it. So I like that. So now I want to add, sometimes you'll add like a bright color. So I want to try to add some red. I'm worried that it's not going to be opaque enough. This is semi-opaque, but if it's not opaque enough, maybe I'll just paint it in. So we're going to add shapes and negatives of the shapes in the red, and I think we'll do like an ombre. So we'll do red in the middle, and we'll do this aqua green on either side. Okay, so we don't want to have the shapes in the same spot. Thanks, Jackie. So how can we put them different? Now remember, this is going to be reversed. So we could put, what if I do this? I'll put the shapes on top here, and then we can just flip it. So where the shapes are is going to be this underneath. Maybe I want to cut different shapes. I'm worried that I feel like I need different shapes because I'm worried I'm going to obliterate all of that. Like that's going to be, you're only going to see what's under here. These two are good, but I think these are too small. This one's okay. Let's maybe that's okay. So we need some bigger shapes over here. I did have some leftover pieces. So this is a bigger shape. What if we put that there like that? Okay, I think we should just go for that. I don't know if that's too small. Could do that. Okay. You know, it's just paper, so I'm just going to flip. It's not going to be exactly in the same spot, but we're going to kind of, and then this has to go like that. Not sure about this one. Okay, and this goes over here. Okay, and this one goes here. I feel like it'd be nice to have another shape there. Is that where, maybe we put that there? And maybe we cut just a little circle to go in the middle. Let me just grab another piece of file folder. Now the trick with this is to have opaque paint. I know that teal's opaque. I'm not sure the red is opaque enough. We might have to do a second layer. Okay, so I'm going to do like a small circle. So it's just this kind of file folder that I used. And I need some scissors. What we could do too is we could press down. No, we'll just go for it. Okay, I think that should cover enough. All right, so we're going to do, I'm going to turn this. Okay, so I want this to go like that, right? So I'm just going to turn this way, and I'm going to lift it up like that and know that I have to put it down that way. Okay. I'm talking to myself because sometimes when you're streaming, you forget what you just said. So I want a really thick layer of this because I know it's not that opaque. So do a lot of this red. And these are both Liquitex fluid. So we're going to make it juicy. I think I'll do the red first. This has black on it still. Oh well, it has black on it still, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to do the red. Let's do this. I'm just going to do the edges, and then I'm going to blend them. Just want to go right there. Okay. Get to the edge. Hopefully we got everywhere. I think this would be fun to do all sorts of different color combinations, right? Okay, and I gotta lift these all up. And then I have another idea about what to do with these shapes, but I don't know. We'll see. So this dries pretty quick, so I have to hurry. I should use two hands, but I could probably do two hands with this like that. And then I'm going to stand up and we'll put our sheet down, and then we'll hope for the best. Okay. Harder to see my edge. I think that's pretty good. I don't know, might be a little off. Fingers crossed. Bye, Casey. Okay. Your brain never works the masks out. You always get it backwards. I think this would have been easier to do on like a smaller scale, because if you use like an 8x10 plate on an acrylic block, you can see what you're doing. You can use it kind of like a stamp, right? You kind of see where things are going. I do have a big acrylic sheet that I got clearance, and I'm hoping to cut it down so that I can use I can put Big Peggy on it. So it just takes a bit of thinking, and I'm hoping this will work. Okay, so let's put that over here. And let's get out our other project. So today my goal is to not do too much. The KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid, silly. Just gonna wipe that. No, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe I should just, I think I should rub it just a little bit more. I'm gonna fold this piece of paper. I don't know, did I use my brayer on it? Can't remember. I'm just gonna use my, not brayer, Baron. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit more. Okay. Alrighty. Back to this. Okay, so we've got our matte medium. We're going to do this one first. Just going to do this whole edge like that, and we're going to spray this one. So if you don't have matte medium on your fingers, it is better because it doesn't stick to your fingers as much. Okay, we're just gonna bring that on top. Okay, and then we got the orange next. Here's our orange piece. Bring that just a little bit down. So my husband and I just started watching White Lotus season 1. We just found a way that we could watch it, and we're on season 2 already. We just started on the weekend, so it's a slow burn. We're really loving the scenery. Season 2 is in Sicily, Italy. It's just gorgeous. Okay, we'll do that one next. Has anybody here watched it? If so, what did you think? Jennifer Coolidge, I find her so funny. It is a hoot, Jane, exactly. It's a hoot. Okay, so I didn't quite get far enough with the orange, but that's okay. We can go back and add a little bit right there. Just need a smidge of orange. Stamp it, and I already have water there, so I'll just do that. Okay. There we go. So we got those two sides mostly done, and then I'm going to just add a bit of matte medium. I'm going to use a bigger brush. The first season really twists you around, yeah. It sure does. So I'm not going to put matte medium on this specialty paper. This paper here, I'm not putting matte medium on that because that is, I like that paper as is. So I'm just going to be careful in the corners here. So I'm putting the matte medium on top if you're just coming in, because the matte medium I used when I put it down it was the cheap Walmart matte medium, and it kind of made it a little bit milky. opaque. Just gonna push this down a bit. So we're hoping to vibrant up the black a bit. And then I don't want to attach those strings down, but I do want to wrap this down a little bit. Okay, that one's pretty much done. Let it dry. We'll add a bit of paint where it's missing. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. I think we have time to, this one is, the paint was really thick, so we got a bit extra time. All right, so this one, this edge is fully done. This edge is mostly done. We have to add a bit of paint there, I think. And then these 2 edges we want to add too. So here we've got this cream color, which I think, I don't have, let me see what I have. Y'all still with the tour? Okay, let's grabbing this paper here. I have this color. I think I could just put that across there. So I got my little basket of leftover papers from this, when we did this stream here. So we don't need a bunch of that. It's just up to maybe this yellow, this orange part here. And then do we have orange left over? Here's some orange. So that can go to there. We've got some more orange. I'm just going to rip this white part off here. Okay, and then we're going to just go around the corner with that one. So that's piece 1. That's piece 2. Piece 3, get them all lined up. And then this off-white one, it's like this one here. Let's just do, I think we'll go all the way across with that one, because this is kind of, you can add some paint to blend it in. So that's going to go all the way there. And then we can add paint. So we'll just do those pieces. Okay, Diane. Well, I'm glad you're still here. I hope everything's okay. Okay, we're going to let that sit a little longer. Okay. Piece numero 1. Excuse me. I can't believe it's already like middle of August. I have a family wedding to go to this weekend out in Canmore, so that's going to be nice. We're going to drive to Calgary. Lucy's going to go to the dog sitter. Which she doesn't mind. I mean, it's not the same as having me around, but she seems to like it well enough. Wrap rather on the back. And then we'll do our orange. So I'm not being too precious with these edges because they're kind of like an afterthought. No one's going to be like studying the edge, right? I think we'll do this side here. And we can fill in any gaps once it's dry. While it's dry, you don't want to be messing with it too much. So the reason there's 2 edges already done, if you didn't watch the stream that we did these in, is we put the 4 pieces together. They're mini canvases from Walmart. And then we put the collage over top when they were all together, and then we split them apart. So that's why there's 2 edges that have the finish and there's 2 edges that aren't. I'm going to go this way just because there's less of a white edge there, and this is going to go just around the corner. And if your hands have glue on them, if you wet them, then they're not quite as sticky. So my hand was a little bit wet from spraying this. Okay, and then we'll do this piece here. I think you guys can see that pretty well, what I'm doing. Trying to hold it so you can see it. So lately we've been taking Lucy for walks at night when it's not quite so hot. She is not a huge fan of the heat, just with all her fur and her age, and she does have a little bit of a heart issue, so she's not a fan of the heat. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in with paint. So let's paint the top and the sides with this matte medium. So I had done this top, I think, with this North Shore matte medium. So I'm using the Liquitex matte medium over top to make it less milky, in case you're wondering why I'm putting matte medium on top. Okay, and then I'm going to hold it in the back. So I'm holding it like that, so I'm not touching the edges. I'm kind of just using my hand and pushing outwards to hold it without touching the edges. And then I'm just going to do the edges that maybe didn't get done. There we go. And that's where I just did, so I'm not going to do that again. Make sure everything's down. I don't have any big globs of matte medium. Okay, we're cooking, we're cooking. Put that down over here. Then you get another piece of wax paper. All right, let's see if this is ready. Let's move this out of the way. I think y'all are working on your own projects, which is awesome. I'm happy you're still lurking, if you're lurking, or if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that as well. Okay, so I think I'm happy with the red. I think it's opaque enough. So there is that. Or did it, we had it this way, right? That's the way we had it. I think like that. A little purpley there. Maybe what we could do is let's add a little bit of red to make it less purpley. I'm not digging the purple with the browns and the, so we're gonna just kind of do a manual feather. So just going to just kind of do that. Get rid of some of that purple. I think it's okay to, if you're not happy with your Gelprint, it's okay to alter it. There's no rule that says it has to stay like it was when you pull it up. Like Art Whisperer, he'll often add collage to his. So I'm thinking of adding some collage to this, but I wanted to, I have an idea, I just don't know if it's gonna work. So just adding a little bit more. Yeah, like you can see a little bit through here, which I don't mind that you can see through it. I just don't want purple because I just don't think it goes with the vibe. And you know, I know that teal and like a blue and a red make a purple. Okay. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you guys can see the whole thing, and then we'll talk about, whoops, that was too much. We'll talk about, do we add collage? Do we not add collage? I'm going to put Big Peggy over here. Well, I don't know. Do I want to put Big Peggy there? We'll see. We might come back and get her. So I was thinking, like this I should paint out. I should paint that out with the black. Let's paint that out. I don't like that little strip of, or do I? Well, let's see. Let's just keep it for now. So here's a close-up. I'm not sure with the background having like that orangey color if I chose the right colors to go on top, but that's okay. So one of the things I thought is we could add these shapes back. If we jelly print on top of them a little bit, we could add them, but we could, so he adds collage like flat. I was thinking, what if we like pop them up a little bit? We could add some white stamping so that they, not too much though. I don't want too many pieces, but like I think that would be cool. I don't mind that. I mean, I obviously don't want to cover too much of it. Okay, let me see if I add, let's get our little gel plate. Let's see if we add some, I'm thinking white stamping with the same stamps. Okay, let me get Big Peggy out. We get her back. And then we'll pop them up with like foam pop dots. And then it makes the red more of like a pop of color, perhaps. Okay, so we could even use different stamps. I have maybe just like the Sumi, like these, a combination of these three. Let's just see how it looks. Should we do, let's do it on one that we're not necessarily going to use and see if we like it. Okay, so I'm going to use some white. So this is the, I'm hoping this is the Yolande Devon twist, is that we're going to pop up some pieces in more of a 3D kind of look. Okay, so if we add something like that, I kind of like that. Let's go for it. We might not add this piece, but let's just see. And a little bit of red got in this white paint. So this was going to be here, right? I think I want the lines this way. Yes, the white on top, that's a good way of putting it, Zen Jen. The white on top will pull the white from below. And this is another foam stamp from PMR Studios. I believe that one's designed by Sophia. So that we're going to pop it up, pop up. And we could do different stamps. Let's do this one on here. Okay, that's going to go there-ish. And let's do this one here. Now, instead of going vertical, maybe we'll go make them go horizontal. So I'm thinking, but I'm trying not to overthink. Okay, that'll go there. And then we can do the plus sign on this one. And just add a little bit more white. Do I have an, I have another one, let's see. I don't want too many different. What if we do the plus with this one? Let's do that. Oh, I forgot to brayer it. So we'll do these, instead of vertical, we'll do them horizontal. Let's run it, let's dry out. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, and let's add these plus signs. So it's kind of like a combination. All right, let me clean up. I'm going to go throw these in the sink. I think we're done with the stamps. Hey, View. Thanks. It's my take on Art Whisperer 88 style. So I'm just popping these in the sink with some water. I'll give them a good wash after. So those were some PM Artist Studio stamps. Give my hands a little wash while I'm here. Oh, I have to show you. When I cleaned my brayer off, I let it soak overnight, and then the paint skin came off all together. Look at that. We can even put that on top. So that was my brayer. This brayer here that I just washed. That was all the layers of paint that were on it. It's like super thick. That would almost match, wouldn't it? Okay, so just gonna clean that brayer off. A lot of. So View, remember I told you to use that North Shore matte medium from Walmart? I'm taking it back. Hi, Christina. I'm taking it back. I did a sample. If you use it over dark colors, it gives a milky appearance. So that's the North Shore matte medium from Walmart. This is the golden matte medium. And then this is the Liquitex matte medium. So we did, if you're doing your reverse collage, if you use that North Shore one, you might get a little bit of a milky look to your paper. So I think I'm going to switch over and just only use the North Shore for stuff that I want. I don't mind if it's a bit lighter. So I did a test on this paper from, I think it's a Portos paper, because I want to use this page in somewhere. So I thought I'll just do it on the other side. So I thought I'd let you know that, because I know you're one of the people I told, oh, just use the North Shore stuff. It's not as expensive. Well, I guess it's not as expensive for a reason, right? Okay, so we're going to put those on with a pop-up dot. And I'm thinking we're going to cut that. Okay, let's get, I think I have some black ones, which would be good. Do I have black ones? Here's some. Now I think you're going to have to use glue though. Use the black for these skinny parts. I thought I had more black ones. Are these black? Oh, these are black. These are Stampin' Up. They call them dimensionals. Thanks, Missy. Thanks, Christina. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pop them up. I just think it's fun. Do you guys like that placement? Get my Eileen's tacky. And some. Now, I don't think I've ever seen Art Whisperer do use. Oh my gosh, sorry if you heard that noise. I don't think I've ever seen him do dimensional pieces, like add dimensions. So, so I'm going to glue that. I'm going to use I'll have to take the back off just a second. So these shapes were just cut from file folders. Now it's sticking to me. They're sticky, but I don't think I would trust them to stick to acrylic paint, so that's why I want to glue them. So I'm going to have to use tweezers. And something to hold it down. There we go. Okay, and then I'll have to cut this one. So this part's going to be a little tedious. Julie says, I found out when I was looking for black gesso that a lot of brands of black gesso have made it glossy. When I want gesso, no matter what the color, I want it chalky, not glossy. That's a very good point. I thought gesso was always matte. I didn't know they made it glossy. So I'm just gluing it. I'm using, I think it's tacky. I'm hoping this is going to work. I've never done this before. I'm taking the backings off. They are sticky, but I want to make them stickier. And I'm getting paint on them. Let's use these big ones. Hey, Jacqueline. Well, these aren't as thick as those ones, are they? Ah, they're close enough. So I have to take off both, otherwise I won't be able to. Well, actually, well, yeah, no, I won't be able to take the backing off if I've already got it on here. I guess once it's dry, I'd be able to take the backing off. Yeah, Julie, I find Rex Ray and Matisse very similar and very inspiring. And I just printed out a bunch of inspiration images of Matisse collage to put in my Society of Idea Collectors book. Hi, Kay. Good to see you. So we have 15 minutes to get this glued down before my time is up. I don't think I'm going to get all those sides of my you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a blob here. So I have the sides of that other piece that we're working on. We've got one more to do. I don't think it's enough time to do it if I want to get these all glued on here. Okay, I'm going to use my Stampin' Up tool to add glue here. I'm hoping this will work. So this is Eileen's Tacky. I'm adding to these dimensional foam glue dots, glue thingies, dimensional foam pieces, typically used for card making and scrapbooking. All right, so I tried to keep it there so I would know where I had wanted it. So I think we wanted it about there. Hi, Kathy. Okay, and then I'm gonna, now I'm trying to remember which way. I'm gonna turn it like this. So when I redo it, I'm gonna turn it the other way. So these are from file folders, so these shapes. So technically, they are sturdy enough to do this with. Marie-France. Good to see you. Working in your travel journal, that sounds fun. Is it a virtual travel journal or is it a travel journal of places you went this summer? I think this would look good with like a white mat around it. This page is about 9.5 by 12.5, I think. Travel journal from your European adventure. Ooh, cool. I was just talking about the show White Lotus and how season 2 is set in Sicily, and it looks beautiful. I would love to go there someday. I think that would be super cool. Did you go to Italy? I've been to Venice. I loved Venice and Rome. Okay, I'm just see if I can just put it right on there. Pretty good. Spread it out like some peanut butter. And then rotate it back. And of course you could take much more time to put these in, you know, just the perfect spot, or maybe back it on another piece. It's a little wonky. Okay, I'm going to cut this one. If you backed it with thicker cardstock, it wouldn't be so, you know, wonky looking, but I'm okay. This could be, let's consider this a not experimental piece, but like a practice piece. Okay, so that's going to go about there, and I'm going to leave that section there. I kind of like that some of them have a little bit of this blue. I could probably sneak a few dots around there. Okay, so with your sister, nice. Germany, France, and finished in Spain. Did you say Spain? Oh, lovely. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, new technique, we're going to put this down here, and then we're going to put those on top. I think I need more to keep it from. The nice thing about the Eileen's Tacky is that it stays wet for a while, and it dries clear. Sorry, I was looking for this. Okay, let's do that. Trying to find a way, what's the most okay, I think I'm on a roll now. I think I've got it figured out. Can I get this finished in 9 minutes? I have 2 more pieces to do. Whoops. I might go over a little bit. I want to really get this piece finished. Problem is it's sticky. Okay, let's try a different way. Let's see if we're able to stick it on. This would be faster if we can peel those off. Hi, Yuta. Good to see you. We're working on a Gelprint 3D collage, whoops, inspired by Art Whisper. Okay, now will these, see, the problem is these things don't come off without pulling. There we go. You're not late. Oh, we missed a spot right there. Oh, I think it came off on my finger. I don't think we missed it. I think my finger picked it up. Okay. Well, I'm glad I decided to only do one of these because it's taking longer. Boop, 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 boop. I don't think Art Junkie Shannon's coming on today. I saw a post that she's taking a little bit of time off streaming for personal reasons. So I might go a little long today just to get these all glued down. Thank you. Okay, and that was about here, I think. I'm trying to glue them on 3D style. Now, do I want to do it? Let's just go with how I had it. Let's not second guess. We'll do this one next. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm just going to stick these on. I would recommend gluing them, but because there's no paint on the back of these shapes, these file folder shapes, we're just going to go for it, just to save a little time. Thanks, Yuda. It's always fun to think, what if I do it, get inspired by someone, but just do it a little different than what I've seen, like try to add a twist. I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything. I tell you guys often that, I'm inspired by other people. I don't, haven't invented all of these gel printing techniques. The fun thing about gel printing is there's so many ways you can add techniques together. Yeah, this is faster. Might not be as permanent, but it only has to sit on my wall. I'm not selling it to a museum or a person. Boop, 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 boop. Now I do think to glue it to the acrylic though, you definitely need the extra glue. All right, we're almost there. Yes, if it falls off, I can add the glue. That's right. And we had that. I'll have to cut off that end, I think. Okay. All right, last one. Okay, so that's got acrylic paint, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and I think do it the old way, old school. Problem is it sticks to my finger. One in the middle. Yes, I agree. I agree, Julie. One in the middle. I was thinking that maybe 2 in the middle. 3 in the middle. All my favorite pieces have this color of aqua green or turquoise or teal or whatever. My living room decor has hints of this color too. Are you not going to work today, Julie? Do you have the day off? I hope your back's better. Hope that's not why you're home. Okay, this is like kidney surgery. I should have put more on this one. Maybe I might take that one off after and redo it after the stream. We'll leave it for now, but I think I'm going to add more pieces behind that one. Or if you have that foam tape that's more like strips, that would work too, I think. Okay, here we go. I have to sign it. And then 1 minute left. Oh, your back's still recovering. I'm sorry. Well, at least it's recovering. Hopefully it's getting better every day. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming to my live stream or watching the replay. Okay, and then that one was kind of like so, I think. Okay, and I think I'll sign it. I don't think I will sign it because I think what I would do is I think I would put it on a white sheet and then maybe sign like the white sheet, like if I had a bigger piece of paper, like this Bristol paper is 11 by 14. So let's say we put, I think it would look better like that. And then what I would do is I would just sign like down here. Oh, 08, 25. There we go. So there's our finished piece. Hi, Christine. And then I've got these little canvases that we started finishing. So next week I'll finish up the sides of the last one, and then I'm going to attach it to that white canvas, and I'll show you guys next week how that turned out. I think, oh, I just wanted to point out, I think adding that matte medium, the Liquitex matte medium on top did help make it less milky looking. So I'm happy with that. Let's see. Well, thanks, Yuta. That's very, very sweet. That makes me feel really good. Thanks, Diane. Thank you, Lizanne. You keep seeing different things in it. That's cool. Needs mounting. Yeah, so I would put it on white, maybe even a bigger piece, but something like that, and glue that down at some point. Thanks, Kay. And yeah, that was lots of fun. I didn't feel too rushed. Felt like a good pace, I think. And very impressionistic. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to definitely take that one off and lift it up a bit. But all right, so thanks for coming. If you watch the replay, thanks for watching the replay. And I appreciate all you guys. Leave a comment if you're watching the replay. I would love to see your comments, and I'll see you guys all next week. Okie dokie. Bye-bye. Not too tired. That's right. I feel energized. Okay, bye.